But I'm just being real. That's just who I am. I'm just real. Ghetto Nerds is just who we are. We're from the ghetto and we're nerds. Hey, what's up? It's your girl Light Skin.
And it's your man Juan G.
And you are now tuned in to the Ghetto Nerds. Yo, what's up? It's your girl Light Skin. And I got my man Juan G in the building. And thank you for tuning in to the Ghetto Nerd Podcast. What's going on, Juan? How was your weekend?
It's been a blur. It's been all over the place. Work, teaching, and more work.
Did you have any fun?
No comment.
Anything interesting happen?
No comment. Well, I feel like strippers? I'm in the hot seat all the time. Where she
did you ever go? Real quick, did you go
weekend.
see the big? Because one day you're gonna say, "I went to the strip club last night."
I would never tell you if I did.
All right, we'll catch you slipping though. Yeah. Well, anyway, we got a special guest in the building, and I'm super excited that he's here. I always say that, but I'm really excited that Donovan's here.
Good.
Mr. CEO of the Boyd Group, the marketing coach himself, Donovan Boyd. What's going on?
Nothing much. How y'all doing?
Nothing much.
How you the marketing coach and nothing's going on? What are you marketing, brother? You fired, man.
No, I mean, depends on. It's just me, man. Sometimes I don't really pay attention to what's going on.
Well, I need you to know it's real right now.
It's real. It is real. A lot's going on. Books, work, clients, projects, the whole 9 yards.
Can you put me in the game, Coach? I need to market some things.
Sure, man.
That doesn't sound.
That doesn't sound right.
I was like, yeah, whatever. Yeah. All right.
It's a tight selection process these days with Donovan.
So it's like hazing or something like that.
You got to sign up and then log in into the account.
Time is valuable, man.
I'm pretty marketable though, man.
Time is valuable, man.
And I pay.
Paying is good.
All right, then.
Everybody doesn't.
That's the first question on the application is, do you have a budget?
I'm not just gonna take your time, man.
You'll be surprised. People try to suck the life out of you. Man. Try to get as much information out of you as possible.
No matter what guests we have sitting in this seat, from what walk of life, why does everyone have that same spill? People just trying to get over all the time.
Because people don't respect you.
Okay.
And until you do what people, look at as success or look at it as something, then that's when they respect you. But
sounds like the Benz wagon.
Anybody said anything up with me, there's a invoice coming.
the first meeting is a consultation meeting to see if it's a fit, for me and you.
Yeah. It might not be full price.
You're an expensive date, brother.
I'm just saying. I don't want to waste your time. You don't want to waste my time, right?
I don't.
That's what I'm saying.
Just send you an email or something. Does that cost too?
No, that's the best way. Get all your thoughts out at one time. So I'm forced to read it. Then this is good for you. Not,
Well, like I said, I'm super excited. I'm super excited about this book.
I'm super excited too.
That you're releasing. It's called the Brand Playbook. So when I hear playbook, I automatically think sports. So let's talk about this book.
It's been on this journey for a while. From music, entertainment. I got 2 degrees in marketing. So as far as a background, I've done marketing in, Fortune 500 companies, smaller companies, work with artists, entertainers, startup companies as well. Did some marketing directing for some local charter schools, so I've just been really engulfed in the whole marketing aspect of it. Then more and more people will start coming to me and say, hey, can you help me out? Can you help me do this, that, and the third? So I was, I shied away from it for a while. But, because I had a company that failed, I won't say it failed, but it failed in my eyes. But I learned a lot from it. So, the learning experiences is really, it was a win, it was a game. But, from what I wanted to accomplish, I failed. But it helped me, to where we are today. It helped me put me at this point. It helped all with the brand. And just I've been a sports guy. I played football in college. So, I feel like sports is very relatable to people. So with the brand, I wanted to be able to speak to men and women. I challenged myself to how can I tie in the sports angle into the business world. So that's where you got the marketing coach from. The reason why I wrote the book is because we're in a DIY phase, DIY era, the YouTube era. So a lot of times people sit down with you, they want to work with you, but when you start discussing numbers, can I get back with you, this, that, and the third. So I said, well, you know what? Or we get some work started and they're like, okay, I can go from here.
Right.
Let me go from here. I can take it on. You gave me a little piece of graphic. Now I'm about to just post on Instagram away, but we didn't lay no foundation. We didn't set up a brand, anything like that. So they eventually come back. So with doing the book, I said, you know what, here, I'm going to give you a tool that you can do yourself.
Okay.
So I feel like I can reach more people. I can touch more people with this book than I can working with so many individual people. So that's just really what it is. It's not like a narrative. It is, you can read, but it's a workbook. So it's a business workbook. Talks a little bit about my story. Then it's 10 plays broken down on how you can start a business.
Okay.
From idea, into concept, into putting it in motion. We talk about business plans. We talk about finance, accounting, marketing, branding, human resources,
Okay.
the whole 9 yards. So if you have an idea, if you have a business that you want to get off the ground, the Brand Playbook is, the tool for you.
And it's any type of business. So you're saying that if I'm a music artist, that I can find use within this book?
True. I feel like anybody that's starting a business, starting a company should have a business plan.
Okay.
But a lot of times with certain businesses or certain industries, we don't look at ourselves as businesses. Prime example, people make the comparison with the Kevin Durant situation over the summer. Kevin Durant made the best decision for that business, for the Kevin Durant business. Not personal, business-wise, Kevin Durant is a business. He's a corporation. So he makes the best decision for that business. And the people that work for that business, they have to understand the move that he made. You can't question that CEO. He's the CEO of that company. So if you're an artist, you're the CEO of your company. You should definitely have a business plan. You should definitely have a vision on where you're trying to go. So if you don't, that's why a lot of times people get lost, or when the money come, they don't know how to handle it because, they're not legally filed the proper way. They don't have a corporation. They don't have a lawyer in place. They don't have the proper staffing or anything in place, for the opportunities that they're going after.
Okay, so we'll just stay on music for a second. Do you feel that this product is something that is needed in your hometown? Like, is there a lack of the knowledge that you provide in this book?
Definitely. So the plan for the book is we're going into the school systems. So what we're doing with the book is now the state of Ohio has made financial literacy a part of the state standards to graduate high school.
Okay.
They're not testing on it, but it is a part of the graduation requirement. You have to learn about financial literacy, which is personal finances, things of that nature. You have to learn about entrepreneurship and business education. So now with so many instant successes or people starting their businesses and entrepreneurship at a rise, I think that this book is, will be very essential and be key to helping our youth. Especially, you got a lot of kids that not interested in going to college, or college isn't for them, but they want to, they got an ideal about a t-shirt line, or some of them made wristbands. I met some kids in Atlanta that was from Florida, and they had cheesecake in a jar, and they're doing 2,000 units a month,
Okay.
So, you got a lot of kids that have an entrepreneur spirit, and it can start young. So I think that this is a very good tool, because it shows you how to build your business from scratch, so from idea to conception.
So I hear a lot of people talking about marketing, the brand, and all that stuff. But should the product be good first before you start marketing it, or should you do it simultaneously? So high school athletes, it's a business there, or a rapper. They don't have good product yet, but they all focus on their brand. Which one should come first?
I'm a firm believer of brand before you market. So you always should brand. You should be branding before you put anything to market. So before you start talking to the masses, before you start introducing your product or your music or whatever to the masses, you should be developing that brand. So once you develop that brand, then I think as a company or whoever, we should be at a consensus that, okay, now this product is ready to go to market.
And what is that process like, without giving us too much?
You'll be surprised that when we talk about branding, just to say, for example, you might ask somebody, well, what's your mission statement from a company standpoint?
Make a lot of money.
What's your core values? What is your company based upon? How did this company behave? How did this company act? If you're a storefront, and we're receiving customers, what are your employees saying when these customers walk into the door?
So
what do they look like? If you're answering the phone, how are you answering the phone? All those things are a part of the brand. If you walked into McDonald's today and nobody had on a uniform, you may be like, I'm in the wrong place.
Right.
Because you're so used to the McDonald's brand. If you go to Starbucks and they don't write your name on your cup, you might have a problem. But that's a part of the brand. That's the experience that we as consumers have fell in love with, and why we frequent these brands.
So as a branding and a marketing guru, so to speak, is it easier to brand a star or already make that person into a star? So let's just say you got a local rapper who's kind of bubbling a little bit. Is it easier to brand that person and make him a household name, or would you like to have a household name and take him to the next level?
I think that's more of a personal opinion. I don't really think.
I'm asking him.
Okay.
It depends. It's really based off the situation, or like she said, from a personal standpoint. I wouldn't say one is easier than the next, but if you're talking sports, right? So if you're saying somebody that's already successful, right? Let's say LeBron James, right? What other companies or what other people don't want to work with LeBron James? So right. To really say you're taking LeBron's brand to the next level, not really. Like if you're already a star and it's easier, but the work comes in if you're taking somebody with potential, if you're taking a brand with potential and being able to take it to the next level. That's where skill comes in. That's where the ability, because it's not, you don't really know you don't really know if it's your skill or is it that person that's already that made a name for themselves.
Okay, so just to piggyback off of that a little bit, which would you prefer as the marketing coach at this point in your career?
Depending on the industry, I'm always excited to work with individuals or brands that have put in the work themselves, that have put in the time themselves, but recognize that they need certain pieces of the puzzle to go to the next level.
Okay.
I don't want to be in a situation where I'm working with a brand or pushing a brand that's not trying to push themselves. You know, so a lot of people, even though they have potential, that doesn't mean that they see the bigger picture. You know, so I've worked with some people that have no brand at all, and took them to the next level, and they wasn't ready for that level.
Okay.
And then I've came into situations where they have brands that have seen success, that have achieved, you know, great things, but they wanted to now take their brand to the next level. They are now hungrier based off the success they've seen, and they just need certain pieces of the puzzle to put together, and that's when I come in.
Okay, so you have the book, which is going to be released
November 10th.
November 10th, and you are having a release party for the book, correct?
Yeah, so we're doing a private release November 10th, and then we're doing an open to the public release November 17th. So November 17th, I'm doing an entrepreneurship workshop at Fawaki Burst in South Euclid.
Okay.
I'll be featuring the owner, Brother Muhammad, the owner of Fawaki Burst, and Shanae Frazier, which is the owner of Body Rocks Dance and Fitness. So we're doing an entrepreneurship workshop called Back to the Basics, and then we'll be, you know, doing a release and a signing, you know, all in one on November 17th.
And how much is this book going to cost?
We like giving it away. You know, it's $19.95.
That's it.
You know,
Just
I feel like, you know, it's a lot of value.
I was about to say, the marketing coach, no, that's not smart business to give it away. I'm glad you cleaned that up.
No, I'm just saying, you know, because I've had a lot of people who've seen the book that's valued it higher. You know, some people say, you know, this is because it depends on which way you're looking at it. You can look at it as almost if it was a textbook. You know, a college textbook's $150-some, $100-some, or you know, a high school book is $60-$70. So some people just said, "Oh, this is a $50 book," and the third. So you know, it's the ebook is $7.99, and then the hard copies is $19.95.
Not bad. How many pages is it?
150.
150 pages.
150 pages.
And the majority of it is a workbook?
Yeah, it's both.
There's pictures in it? No, for our IEP folks.
It's pictures. It's some
All right,
pictures.
cool, man.
It's some illustrations.
Oh, okay.
Some illustrations.
So,
I think it's a dope idea. I think,
You know,
like I said,
so-
I'm very excited for you. Just knowing a little bit about you over the last few years, I kind of know what you've been through, but to be able to get inside, you know what I mean, because you're really opening yourself up too as well with the Boyd group, you know what I mean. I saw some visuals with that, and it made me excited for some weird reason. And I think it's because I can relate to you on a whole bunch of different levels. And to see someone who's coming kind of from where I'm coming from and putting that energy and time into themselves and actually making something happen is really dope. So I'm really proud of you.
I appreciate it. You know, I had to go with the Dame.
Oh, boy.
You know, I had to put up my own dough. I don't want nobody else calling my.
They ain't be tripping, though.
I don't want my kids calling nobody else daddy.
Right. No, I respect
You
that.
know, but really it just stemmed from, I did if you go on my YouTube page, I did a brand film called Marketing Is My Sport. And I just talked about, you know, I worked with, so I had a music background. I worked at Atlantic Records. I worked at, you know, for Russell Simmons, and just being in New York City. So I just seen so much on the music side that it really made me fall in love with it. So, you know, I had the opportunity to start a music and management company here in Cleveland. We travel, we put out records, videos, you know, we had a nice organization, but I still felt like I wasn't in control, you know, and with not being in control, you know, I didn't like that feeling. You know, I didn't like the feeling of what I'm doing is based off somebody else.
Exactly.
You know, so I just took the time to work on myself, learn my craft, read. I went and got another degree in marketing, and, you know, I just wanted to be able to say that I'm an expert in what it is that I'm doing. You know, and I think that the book makes people now respect what I've done and what I'm doing even more, you know. So in the book, it takes you in different realms. You know, November 12th, I'll be speaking at the Festival of Praise. It's downtown. I'll be doing a branding workshop. I'll be traveling to Atlanta to do some another branding workshop. So, you know, I just got out and really, you know, and just really did what I needed to do from a standpoint of, you know, just trying to build this brand. You know, I signed with a publishing company in Atlanta. Because I just seen so many different black businesses down there and just different ways to connect. So, you know, that's just really what it is. You know, I just wanted to give myself a chance. You know, I was putting so much energy into this singer, this rapper, this DJ, or whoever. You know, I said I can put that same energy into myself.
That was my next point. When you bringing up like the past things that you work with. And I remember coming into your studio in your office, and I was like blown away. Like the perception was like it was just rocking up there. Remember, I think I remember telling you like, wow, I don't go in many places, and folks have a studio. They don't have to go anywhere for it. They got their own workspace, and like you having some of the biggest artists at the infant stages like that. Can you talk about that a little bit, like how it went from that to you just walking away from it?
Yeah, so I feel like I always feel like my mind, I feel like I was ahead. Mm-hmm. You know, like when I was a kid, I had a paper route, I cut grass. I was always doing something, entrepreneur, trying to make money or hustle, you know what I'm saying? I always was like that. Like high school, I worked at KFC and I delivered beauty supply products on the weekends. And, you know, so I always was like thinking that way. I was like, okay, if I work here, I just stack this check, you know, and don't spend that, you know, and don't spend that money, and this, I can do this with this. And, you know, so when I got into the music, I came back to Cleveland in 2007. One of my high school friends, he was in the music. I was kind of upset that I came home because I was walking away from the music. So I was like, how would I ever get back into the music? Mm-hmm. You know, so he was rapping. I'm like, man, let's do it. Started a company with some friends and family. We put out a record in February of 2010. February, March, April, May, we was on Summer Jam. Mm-hmm. By June, record was in rotation on 107.9. And all them projects with him, we put up our own money. Like mm-hmm. we did everything ourselves, the studio and everything. So I saw what it took from a financial situation. So I said, as a manager, how can I make this situation better? Mm-hmm. Right? So from that, at that point, I really didn't feel like it was a lot of people in our lane. You know what I'm saying? I feel like you had artists, but you really didn't have no powerhouse management. So I was looking at Violator. Mm-hmm. And I was like, Violator is a management company and a record label. So I had a record label tucked. So I had all the funding. I had a lot of stuff tucked, and I get into that. But so I'm like, so how can I make this organization succeed? You know what I'm saying? So I had a rapper. So I'm like, well, who gonna do the hooks? So I went and got a singer. I said, well, then we need somebody to play the records, right? So I'm like, well, I'm gonna go get a DJ. So we ain't got a DJ. We ain't got another singer. You know, so at this point, we got a whole roster. So it's like, how can we put these people in the best position to succeed, right? So I was working with a guy named Frank West, and we spent $500 on his single, just recording and mixing it. I'm like, dang, it costs a lot of money on the singing side because there's so much that go into it, so many sessions, right? Rapping, go in quick, right? You know, so I'm like, man, we need a studio. I'm like, I can't keep paying somebody. I'm like, we need a studio. So my boy Shy Hits, He had a studio in his basement. He had all the equipment, and he rapped. I went and found a storefront on Noble in Cleveland Heights, $600 a month. It was big enough to where I could split it in half and put the company headquarters and the studio in the back. I said, look, I told Shaq Hicks, I said, I'll manage you. You bring all your equipment. I'm going to provide you a studio space. You record all my artists for free. And then you can run your studio out of here, and we just take a percentage. Now, we did that. From the artist standpoint, the artist had dues, right? Mm-hmm. So, like I said, Frank West, his one song cost $500 to make, right? So I said, to each artist, you give me $200 a month. You have unlimited studio time. Mm-hmm. Right? So for me, I'm like, well, you guys talking about this is what y'all do, this is y'all life. So I'm like, shit, $200 a month, you can't beat it. That's just like if you a hooper. We grew up as a hooper, and the coach said, Juan, here go the key to the gym. Mm-hmm. Now, if you're not successful, that's on you. All the cones, the bags, everything you need is in the gym. Here go the keys.
Right.
Now you can go 1 day a week, 1 day out of the month. You can go 30 days straight. That's on you. So from that standpoint, it was just about. Now I noticed that was starting to separate the real from the fake. You know, who was really about it. Because I'm giving you all the tools. I'm putting your songs on the radio. Your songs is playing in the club. Y'all selling out. Selling out mixtape release parties. Y'all opening up for artists. So that was starting. The pressure was starting to build up.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? I had investors lined up for the record label, and all this different stuff started happening. And these guys were exposing themselves. I never even told nobody that I was starting a record label. You know, but I had everything in place, all the paperwork, the business plan, the funding, everything. I'm like, I said, we got our own studio because now we putting out our own records. It ain't no stopping. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? We put out anything we want. I had all the city. Everybody in the city was coming to record in there. So I just think that we was a little ahead. You know, now people got studios, but even still, like, you know, you basing it off all these other artists got to come in and record. And I was just like, I gave you guys a home, but everybody, you know, it's separated, you know. So some people was in it 30 days, some people was in there 5 days, and then it was all, well, I didn't record this month, so I shouldn't have to pay and all this, you know.
It's prorated.
You know what I'm saying? But it was more so like, this is the teams. We coming in this together. Mm-hmm. I don't need a studio. Y'all do. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So we put this play down for everybody. So whatever you got to do to go hustle up your $200. You know what I'm saying? If you got to go work your little job, if you need to, you know, whatever you got to do to get your $200, just make sure your $200 here. And then when you don't pay it, you pulling away from the team. You selfish. So I got tired of that. I got tired of chasing rent down. I got tired of, you know, trying to put people in the studio. So, you know, I parted ways from it.
So you just locked the door and put the chains on the door and told them it was over?
It was over.
Well, you did have a good eye for talent. I mean, because now a lot of them are doing pretty good things respectively. So, yeah. I mean, that should make you feel good in the sense, though.
So
everybody, though?
I mean, out of like 5, 3 of them.
I mean, you know, I would say that some of them, in their own right, has gone on to do certain things. I think others have come to a realization that this isn't what they.
It ain't for everybody.
It ain't for everybody.
So musically, they're not, because I haven't seen them. Did I miss something?
No. I mean, you know, I won't necessarily put everybody's what they doing. I just feel like I've seen some doing things musically, and I feel like others have come to some realization.
But
you know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm saying the fact that you had people that was in-house with you and now they're blossoming, some slower than others, I mean, you can take some credit for that. That's all I was just saying.
No,
right?
I understand 100%. Yeah.
I wasn't I'm like saying shade, no, like, no.
And I feel like we've had other artists that have done great things in the city that was coming through the studio. So just the talent and the people that were coming through the studio, some of the records that, that was put out. It's been good records in the city that was recorded there. So, I definitely feel like, our studio was something that, people remember in the community.
So it's more or less proud of the studio situation that you created, not necessarily the artist that was in-house with you is what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, I'm proud. Like MJ, I'm part of MJ. MJ has toured the country. MJ is working
international.
I
wasn't gonna say names, but
I'm just
since
saying.
You brought it up, that's what
I'm definitely proud. It's just that at certain times, at that situation, it was just that we had differences of opinions, and we had our visions was different. But I'm definitely proud of that type. Where people are at this point.
So, Coach, I'm referred to as Coach.
Got you.
So you're evaluating talent. Some people have it, and some of them don't. Do you decide I'm gonna work on this person's game a little more than this one, or do you treat them all equally? Like when you got that situation, you can see this kid can be a star. Do you lean more on him, or do you spread it out evenly?
I think it takes a time for people to realize what their talents are. Right? Some people have talents, their gifts. So I feel like we had talented people and we had stars. Okay? I feel like MJ was a star. Okay? I feel like Shad Hits was talented. Right? He was a great writer. So I feel like he could make music, he could make money in music other ways. Like right now he's considered one of the best engineers in Cleveland, but I feel like musically, he's I've still yet to see somebody in Cleveland with as much music as he has. You know what I'm saying? And it's so like we talk about it all the time. It's a lot of stuff that he never put out, and just I just feel like he put out high quality work. But when you want to be a rapper and you want to be in the limelight, you're not hearing that. Yeah. You're not hearing, man, why don't you take this record and this record might sound better with somebody else. You don't want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? Like, this me. I made this for me, but you probably can go make more money if you hand this record over to somebody else. But it takes people maturity to figure those type of things out.
So is that having a branding conversation, or is that like this will help you better? What would that be considered? You sitting down with me and I want to be the dopest MC in Cleveland, but you like, Juan, those hooks you be writing is it. So should I start branding myself as like a writer and get rid of the rapping part?
That's not really branding yourself. Okay. That's really more so how are you going to market yourself. That's really more so you coming to a realization with yourself is what you're good at and what you're great at. You can be a good rapper, but you can be great at writing hooks. You know what I'm saying? So when I put it out there, hit me up for verses, or hit me up for hooks, if I'm, so it's more so what you doing. If you're going to push that, what you marketing, am I marketing that I'm a great MC? You know what I'm saying? Or I got this next hit record? Or you ain't never really put out no hit records, and the best record you done been on, you done done the hooks on them.
Okay, so to answer one question, which one would you?
Because he didn't.
He didn't answer. And see, what I know, one thing for sure, what I know about him is that he's that polished, though. I don't want to talk bad about nobody, and I get that. You know what I'm saying?
I wasn't trying to get him to talk bad.
That's what I'm saying. But see, what happened is that you asked him a question.
All right. What's the question you asked me?
The question was, if you have an artist with talent and you have an artist that's more or less what we call a star, quote unquote, these days, do you go more towards the talented one, or do you go more towards the star, or do you treat them equally?
No, I don't necessarily. I treat them equal because they're my client. So if they're a client of mine, I'm treating them equally. But I think that their talents affords them different opportunities. So
is it who has the best? Who you feel has the best opportunities? Who you're going to put out front? Because I think that's more or less the type of question it was. Like,
no, because it's different. Like you can't put two different people in the same box, right?
Correct.
So you can't put two people in the same box. So all I can do is go off experience, right? So if I'm going back from a music standpoint, when I brung on Shad Hits, his album was done. MJ wanted to make music. He had the talent to make music, but he really wasn't starting making music. So it wasn't fair to both of them to say, okay, MJ, I know you a star and you want to make music, so we gonna put all our eggs and all our focus on you making music, and you haven't yourself started making music yet. Or Shad, you ready to go? You got a budget, you got the money, you have a whole album recorded, you ready to go. So as the manager, I'm assessing each person individually. I'm not saying that, I'm about to focus on you, because no, I'm focusing on this individual. So how the company was set up was like a sports agency, to whereas this is the umbrella, and then each individual artist had their own managers.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That. So I'm overseeing all the different people, but you had your own individual manager that was handling your day-to-day work.
So you didn't have to choose.
Have to.
But, Coach.
But I understand what you're saying. All right. You know what I'm saying? Who am I focusing on? No. It just...
but it happens, though. Like, because I'm going to just be real. Like, it's real simple. Just like Maybach, for an example. You know what I mean? If he felt more strongly in Meek, so he put this aura, this vision over Meek right now, and then the rest of y'all, hold up a second, let me get him straight, then we all going to be straight. Because that's the real story.
Yeah,
Coach.
Yeah, no.
Hey, Coach.
Yeah,
hold on, wait, Coach. As a real good coach, you know it's all about managing personalities first before you can manage the talent. Back to Cleveland Heights High School, you guys had some of the best athletes, but I'm sure it was a time where they had to manage egos and personalities. Who gonna take the last shot? Who gonna get the first play drawn up for them? So going back to your management situation, I feel it's BS to say that you can't. Like, if this person is hot, we gotta ride that wave. Like, keep feeding them the ball. And then until they stop that, then we'll do something else. Is that not how it works?
It doesn't.
Come on, Coach. I don't think you've been real.
It doesn't.
I honestly believe that's what y'all did, though, if you think about it.
Yeah, but it doesn't. Because that's what you like, and this is the whole reason why
talk to me.
This
Please
is
talk
the
to
whole
me.
reason why we're here now.
Okay.
Right? Because as a manager, that's what you want to do. But I don't have that control. Right? I can say, keep feeding the rock. He don't want the rock. Keep feeding him the rock. He missing the shot. So at some point, you got to stop feeding him the rock because he don't want it.
You could tell he's shaky. Like
he's shaky.
His head ain't in the game.
His head ain't in the game.
All right, Coach, I got you.
He just find these great.
Or I'm being a Monday morning quarterback. That's what I'm being right now.
Look, or now, however you want to do it, however you want to look at it. If you talking about a quarterback, all right, I know Randy Moss, he got the high hand. I know he can take it over the top. But I keep throwing to Randy Moss, he keep dropping it. I keep going for the big play.
Yeah.
Right? Or I can turn around and give it to this running back. He gonna give me 6 to 7 yards of pop.
Yeah.
And he gonna get me where I need to go. He might not get me there quick. He might not be a big play guy. He might not be a primetime guy. But he's talented. He's reliable. He's in the league. He can do his job. That guy's exceptional, but he can't handle the spotlight.
Well, you're one of my favorite people in the city that never gets credit for what you've been able to accomplish as an educator, as a guy that deal with professional athletes, you've done that before. As a guy who's dealing with big artists and big talents and big egos, so that's just commendable to not be crazy right now. Like, because I've seen like the people you've had to deal with and just managing all that stuff. So kudos to you for that. I mean,
appreciate it, brother.
Coach, whatever, you know. Also, I'm gonna call you from now on. Like, put me in the game, coach. That's why. Is that fine if I say that to you?
I got you.
Is it fair for him to say that you didn't go crazy though? Honestly, did you not go crazy at all ever? Honestly, but see, because I'm real. Like
I don't know.
You went crazy.
That might have been. That might have been.
You went back to school.
How's that crazy?
That might have been something my wife may know, or you know.
He went crazy. I'm gonna tell y'all he went crazy.
To go back to school?
No, let me back that up a little bit. Okay, so he got fed up, right? And when you get fed up with anything, you're gonna go some type of crazy, especially when you work hard at it and you put so much work and dedication into it. You got to go crazy if it don't work out. Now, I'm not saying you went crazy and all your hair fell out. You went crazy and you sat back and you probably took a vacation or whatever you had to do, and you thought about it and you decided to go back to school so you can come back harder for yourself. Is that not true?
I situation that happened where I feel like, possible, friendships and business relationships, a lot of things went south. Some things had to be, mended because a lot of differences of opinions. And, when you're a visionary and you're somebody that thinks on a different level and has a different outlook, everybody's not prepared to go on that route and go on that journey. You know what I'm saying? So, I just had to do what I had to do and stand on my own 2 feet, and I had to go create my own, and I just had to be able to create my own, and rely on myself and rely on my own ability and my own brain and my own talents, because I hate the fact that I have to rely on another individual, and I don't know how hard it is. I can stress that, but to have my fate in somebody else's hands, I don't like it. So I had to recreate, and do something different, and I had to go back to the drawing board. I don't know if it's been some,
tearful nights or
some, I don't know, saying tearful, but some tearing up stuff, some upset, and just frustrated because, the formula was there, and when the formula is there and the people when you have people that don't want to execute the formula, like, it's there, like, it's just plug the things in place, just work it, but people get impatient and people can't see the vision, so that's because
the last thing, the reason why I did that is because the last thing I want people to think is that it's easy.
Oh,
you get what I mean? Because when you hear people say, "Oh, you did that, and then you did this, and now you're doing this," but what you don't know is what I had to go through them nights when I didn't collect that rent or that rent didn't come through. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
And where I spent 98% in the studio or working on the label, and then my family is at home upset or mad at me, or you know what I mean. The relationship can obviously. So I just had to make sure we put that out there.
Like, so it's definitely, you definitely have to have strong individuals around you. Whether it's a spouse, whether it's a significant other, whoever it is, you have to have strong individuals around you that understand, what it is that you're trying to do and what it is that you're trying to accomplish. Sometimes it may be hard to articulate. It may be hard to explain, so, sometimes you got to say, just rock with me and trust me, because the vision is there, but sometimes, it just may be hard, to do that, so, you just get in a situation where it's not easy, and a lot of those things, a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of traveling, a lot of different things that, a lot of sacrifices that you have to make, whether it's financially, like, it ain't free to put out a book. Right. You know what I'm saying? It don't, writing a book costs money. The marketing behind it costs money. Finding a good publisher and somebody that's going to, you know, help you with your vision and bring it to life costs money. You know, doing a proper release costs money. You know what I'm saying? And just like with my release on the 10th, I'm doing something ain't nobody here seen. Mm-hmm. Nobody, you know, and when you walk in, you're going to feel like you at a movie premiere, you know, because that's how much I believe in a project, and that's how much I believe that this book can impact the world.
So I just want to make sure you weren't getting away with that.
Getting away with which part?
Just saying that like everything was all good. I had to make sure we put it out there that everything is not all good, and especially now that is, you know, you putting the work behind yourself. I feel like it's gonna be even harder.
Oh yes,
you know what I mean? Because
definitely.
Because it's like when you work so hard for other people, you almost want to be better than what you even saw them as. So you got to put in the work times 10. You know what I mean? So I feel like
because I mean, think about it now. Like, this the hard part.
Exactly. I agree.
I thought the book was hard. You know, this is the hard part. Actually getting out these type of situations, releases, and getting people, you know, so the response has been good, you know, but this is the hard part. Now it's selling the book, you know, getting a book printed, getting it on Amazon, on iTunes, Kindle, and, you know, those different things, and making sure my graphic designer is on point, and making sure my videographer is in place, and all the marketing strategies and everything that goes on behind it. That's the hard part.
Well, kind of to continue your resume a little bit, I watch a lot of stuff and I see you everywhere, and I've seen you take this said club to like the hot spot, like the place to be. You know, you got all the line dancing and all that kind of stuff. How did you? It was like a blank canvas, and you made it into like the spot for the 40 and overs to be. The dudes with the top hats, him and his wife come in, they matching and all that kind of stuff.
Some research. Yeah. So
I'll just be saying everything.
You know, so I've been, you know, fortunate to be head of entertainment for one of the local casinos. So just from that standpoint of, you know, how do I, you know, always take on a challenge, you know, so how do I take what my market likes? You know, I had to understand the audience, what Cleveland people like, what they want to see, what they like to do, and just created an atmosphere, you know, just created something that, you know, that hit home with the city, whether it's doing line dancing or a club or whatever, you know, just took a space and was able to, you know, transform it into something different. You know, you got a lot of, you know, gaming and casinos is new to Cleveland, so you got a lot of people that's from Las Vegas that don't really know the market, don't really know the area, so they don't really know what to do because they don't know how to speak to this audience. You know, so just giving, just taking some of our childhood traditions or our family rituals that we normally do, and just taking it and putting it in a safe environment, or putting it in a, you know, putting it in a place that makes people feel safe. And it was just something that was a win-win for, you know, and a lot of people from Las Vegas or these higher ups don't really understand, like, you know, because they'll fill up, they'll put a, you know, a retired comedian or something.
Have a
like
residency for a month here, and like we ain't really checking for that.
Yeah, and we're gonna pay you X amount of thousands of dollars, and you can't get nobody in there, you know. But we can take a little bit of money and bring in 400 or 500 people or 600 people in 2 days. Like, how are you doing this? You know, you just gotta know your market.
So I was gonna say, is that marketing or branding? I'm confused with those two. Like,
so for example, I'm gonna give you it, right.
Coach me.
Coach you.
Yeah, I'm like the easiest one-on-one. I mean, because I can jump in, but I'm the show segment.
I'm gonna give you easiest one-on-one. Okay, so say line dancing. Okay, I'm gonna market that I offer line dancing.
Publicize it.
Right.
Okay, people.
I'm gonna advertise it. I'm gonna push it out to the masses.
Okay.
All right. The branding piece is I hired the best line dance instructor in the city.
So now we know it's official because you went out and got the best of the best.
Yeah. So he has a brand
Got you.
as the king of line dancing. So it solidifies my event because now I went and got the king to teach my class.
So you marketed that I got the king with me?
Yeah.
'Cause
and
he
then I
built
made
that
my
brand.
class for free.
It's cheating, man. You
And
got
blew
the cheat
everybody-
codes
I'm just
over there,
saying,
man.
it blew everybody else off the water.
All right. I mean, I've yet to come, and then you got like ballroom dancing and all that. So
stuff. You know, so a lot of those programs, a lot of those different things, you know, rotate in and out because we got some new management. But you know, it's just taking what you're trying to do and you put the best pieces of the puzzle together.
that's just me going back to you not getting credit because I'm moving and shaking. I mean, line dancing is not an easy task in the city, and nobody probably knew you was behind that.
Yeah, it's all good.
You
You know,
think
I
knew you was
don't
behind that.
I don't necessarily do things for the recognition. It's just that people know. So now that's why so now you're in a situation where the book, they like, oh, I got to get this book.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like I've seen the different things and, you know, I've heard, I've watched, I'm seeing, I got to see what he's talking about. You know, so it just was perfect time and it just worked out. The Cavs won, it's good time in Cleveland, so I'm like, I gotta come out at the same time. So.
Is that situation under your boy group? Like, is it?
Yeah, so everything, everything's copyrighted under the Boyd Group and the marketing coach. What I did with the Boyd Group is I didn't jump out the gate. What I did was I took the approach of I wanted to publicly brand the marketing coach.
Okay.
And the marketing coach is the first client under the Boyd Group.
Okay.
I do work with some other talents, some other larger brands, but I wanted people to see the marketing coach from the infancy stage all the way to now. I've documented, I've showed you the good, the bad, I've showed you everything that goes into it, just so people can see the process, publicly, and they can view the process and they can see, from when I started till now, where we're going, The goal is I just want to educate, I want to travel the country, educate people. I want to speak, and I know the book was a piece that I was missing for the brand, so that's why I had to go into the lab and get to work.
So, Coach, there's this 18-year-old senior in high school, right? In August, he'll enroll in this big-time college and want to take up marketing. What would be some words of wisdom for him? Because that seems like the sexy career that everyone picks in college, like marketing and business management.
Mm-hmm. Focus on the digital aspect. A lot of people are I don't say going away from it. Your traditional marketing will never go away, but the digital aspect of it is huge, Just from a customer standpoint, a lot of times, really what the digital world is now from the marketing standpoint is just learning the customer's behavior. Mm-hmm. And how do I get in front of the customers digitally? 20 years ago, we didn't have mobile devices. Mm-hmm. So many people spend so much time on their phones, so they're just trying to figure out, how do I get in front of this individual? What is this individual doing? What do they like? What do they dislike? What are they looking up on their phones? What are they looking up on their tablets? And how do I connect with these individuals and how do I reach them? So anybody that's going into the marketing field, I would definitely tell them to steer towards the digital aspect of it.
All right, well, I want to get ready to wrap up this show because I feel like you've given enough for free.
It's all good. It's all good.
And I know you're pretty humble and you're okay with that right now, but I want you to make this money.
We can give value. It's all good.
I just want you to get this
I just
check.
don't want no cease and desist orders sent to the Ghetto Nerds for putting out stuff.
No, it's all good. I appreciate you guys, man.
So before we get out of here, what's the process of joining? I mean, is the Boyd Group new client process on hold right now while you working with the marketing coach, or are you currently taking clients?
We evaluate clients. We evaluate situations.
And if it fits, you're going to take
If
them.
it fits, you know, you can find us at theboydgroupllc.com. My website is marketingismysport.com. All my social medias are I am Donovan Boyd. And we can go from there. You know, I'm always interested in working with new individuals. You know, just want to. I tell people that this is a big process. So, you know, don't just come want to work with me because of what you see. Like, it has to be a good fit. So that's why I won't just say that I just take on any and everybody, because I want to be a good fit for both parties.
That makes sense. Well,
So you can't put me in the game, coach. Right?
I got you, man.
I actually think he'll work with you.
I would, man.
That's all I have.
You're a good guy, man.
Thank you, man. I try.
You know, I remember you from back in the day. I always tell you that, man.
Yeah. I
Decent
think
point guard.
y'all cheated us
He's a
that
decent point
game.
You know,
DJ definitely pushed off. That was a foul.
decent
in the
point guard.
playoffs.
We beat them in the playoffs. It's
They
okay.
cheated us in the
What year
playoffs.
was this?
03. I'll never forget. Yep. In the playoffs. Yep.
We came out the same
Collinwood?
year.
No, Cleveland Heights.
How I missed that game? How are you
Was
playing
that
Cleveland
South,
Heights in the
wasn't it?
playoffs?
That's South.
Come on, so you wasn't playing Cleveland Heights in the playoffs?
We did play
We
them
did.
in the playoffs. It was
In the Senate?
state playoffs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
State playoffs, South.
They cheated us, and the last play of the game. How you go from out of bounds to the whole court?
Do you have it on tape? You might have it on tape.
I
no?
do. I'm not playing it. I got them all on
But at
tape.
least show that play.
No,
The cheat?
I'm still looking for Duck. If anybody seen him, tell him I'm looking for him.
One of them playoff games, we scored 130 points. At
It wasn't that game.
So did you play
It
with,
wasn't that
play
game.
with Chet? No?
No, he played for Cleveland Heights. The game was at South.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Okay. You did say state players. I'm sorry.
We went
It's cool, though.
I tried. I,
Final,
I was
we
at
went to the
every
Final
game.
Four. We lost
Yeah,
Final Four.
whatever.
Who y'all lose to?
Cincinnati Moeller.
They were good.
They were good. Josh Duncan.
Yeah, I remember that name.
All right, well.
Whatever. Y'all still cheated us.
But I want to thank you for taking the time out and coming out. And like I said, I'm so proud of you. I wish
Appreciate
you
it.
nothing but success with this.
So yeah, that sums it up for the Ghetto Nerds podcast this week. Stay tuned to the Ghetto Nerds podcast. You can check us out on iTunes, Google Play Store. That's Ghetto Nerds Podcast. You can follow us on Instagram, Ghetto Nerds Podcast. Follow our page on Facebook, which is Ghetto Nerds Podcast. And you can definitely check out our website, ghettonerdspodcast.com. And for the lovely light skin, this is Juan G. We'll check you next time. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.